This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden & Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden & Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
What's up, fam? What it do? Today is the 13th of September. I need y'all to work with me on this a little bit now. I'm multitasking, so I'm producing, I'm hosting, so just work with me. I got y'all in the background. I see y'all back now, but let me get this out the way. All right, so I'm running a little behind. Of course, unfortunately, it's one of the days at work where everything was going wrong, so we're going to talk about how fast I was doing to get here. But anyway, it's the 13th of September. This show going to be about relationships. I got some people who going to come here. We're going to bring some fire. We're going to bring some smoke. I'm just going to tell y'all now, don't y'all be hurting my boy Mark. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt Mark. You know what I'm saying? Tmarie and Arneè, they all to the good. But Mark, hey, don't hurt Mark. We're gonna stick together on this one. But this is what I want to say. Now, I was scrolling Facebook yesterday. I don't know why, because I actually didn't work. And I was on another page. I was checking out Michael Basin's page. And Michael Basin, you know, he big time now. I don't get it twisted. I ain't confused about who I am or who I ain't. I ain't Michael Basin. But anyway, Michael Basin had asked, he said, I want y'all to understand the assignment because y'all messed it up last time. I just want the pictures of the petite women. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, I talked about this before, how we got our own definitions for shit. When we want to be part of something, we'll create something. And I'm not a big fan of that. You know, whether you like Webster, whether you like America or not, we got a standardized dictionary that we use for definitions so that we're all speaking the same language. Because if you don't like it or you don't want it, then leave. But since you're here, we're going to use the English dictionary. So he asked for a picture of petite women. Petite. He even posted the definition. It said small and dainty. And something else. Small and dainty. And this ain't to throw no shame at nobody. This is just about accepting who you are, which is going to tie into this relationship show. Because some of us are in extreme denial. Extreme denial. And I don't get it. Petite. Statistics say that the average woman is under 5'4". So everybody who's under 5'4" ain't petite. But let me tell you what being under 5'4" means. Being under 5'4" means that you are short. Short is not petite. Short is horizontal. Petite is circumference. You can't be 5'2" and weighing 175 pounds talking about you're petite. No. Don't let Victoria's Secret and Walmart fool y'all, because hey, I used to be in sales. And again, I ain't throwing no shame. I'm just telling you facts. If we were a logical group of people, size 0 makes no sense. Because if 0 is nothing, how can any woman be a size 0? It's illogical. But women didn't like being 22s and 44s because there was a time men's and women's jeans came the same. See, I used to wear a 32 in a jean. My girlfriends could wear my jeans. But if they bought them in girl sizes, they were 6s. And how the hell is the same thing if it's mine, it's a 30-something, if it's yours is a 6? But body-wise, I think y'all got more of a stigma. But I'm watching these women who are 200 pounds, who 185 pounds, who 155 pounds, claiming that they petite because they under 5'3". Danny DeVito is not petite, ladies and gentlemen. He under 5'3". When you got all that extra stuff, you know what it is. And all I'm saying is sit down on self, be true. Uncomfortable conversations. Some of y'all look good as hell. Don't get it twisted. Y'all look good, but you are not petite. Some of the finest women I know are not petite. Just be who you are. I know some really pretty, thick girls. They are not petite. It's okay. See, I ain't 6 feet. So the woman says she want a man who's 6 feet tall. If I put on my good boots, I'm over 6 feet. But I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I identify as 6 feet. As my friends say, some of y'all women, and we're gonna do another show with this because I know Tmarie gonna have something to say because that's who she is. Some of y'all are trans petite. Y'all identify as trans, but y'all ain't there. Clearly, y'all ain't there, and it's okay. All fellas ain't good looking, but you know what? Don't none of them identify as ugly. All fellas are trans good looking, whether you like it or not, and that's what y'all are. But let the truth be told, everybody don't want you, and you ain't who you think you are. So, you know, I'm gonna go on and get over this because I see them there, and I see Margaret. I think he got his boxing glove because he finna take some body blows. He finna take some body blows this show. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm going to bring my super duper guest on. And before I bring him on, I'm gonna tell y'all, see, this is another one of them things, y'all. I be telling y'all, we can promote each other, even if we do the same thing, because they got a show. See, some competition is good competition. It make you step your game up. You don't have to drag nobody to be good, except who you are. And if you the shit, accept a little competition and go from there. So let me figure this thing out. Let me see here. Let me figure this thing out. And we're going to do a quick commercial and just give y'all a show teaser. And we'll be right back. Get y'all a drink or something.
This week on Random Thoughts with DVP, I will be joined by Katrina Tmarie Curtis.
Arneè Harrison, my partner Mark Weaver, and Phyllis Kimber. Join us as we talk all things relationship. This table that everybody want to know what somebody bringing, and whether or not we missing out on a good thing, looking for a better thing. And of course, we got to talk about whether we dating the paper or the person. I will see y'all Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. Be there. All right, I think I'm back. I'm still learning to get the hang of this thing, so I'm gonna do this. Y'all know I'm a Southern gent, so I got Mark and Tmarie. Arneè is coming up. She come with her introduce herself, but I'm gonna bring Tmarie on first and let her give y'all a quick introduction. There she go. Look at that smile, y'all. What's up,
y'all? Hey, now, what's up? What's up?
What's happening with you?
Oh, just a whole lot of nothing. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
You ready? You ready? You ready for this? Let me go and bring the troublemaker in here. Again, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, don't y'all be swinging at my friend. Don't y'all be swinging at my friend. Now, he ain't no old man, so he can't call AARP on y'all. But he will start some shit. I'm just saying, he will start something. What's up, Mark? Oh, he done muted himself. He already in trouble.
Damn, here I am. What's up? What's going on?
There you go.
And don't be scared, brother. Don't be scared. Come on and bring it.
Oh man, I had to do my own eternal prayer on how to make sure I could tone it down tonight. It's a Wednesday night. It's Bible study night, so.
See that?
Make sure we put it together,
hey, didn't we just talk about this? See, Mark identifies as a trans Christian. See this? This ain't what we finna do, brother. This is not what we about to do up in here. So, like I said, I have been talking about having some relationship shows. So, again, now, Mark, did we meet before close event? I want to say we met before.
Darren, I've been on you since like 08, 09, man. We you and I go back. We were in different groups or whatnot. I remember you back at the days, the Crow's Nest and whatnot. So we go back, man.
Okay, I wasn't sure we had never physically met. I know this is the first time I had your phone number.
No, actually, we met before. It's been a while. It's only been a few times, but we've always in some form of fashion always been, connected via social media or whatnot. So, it's just like we just pick up where we came from before. So,
okay.
Glad you got me on. So,
all right. And Mark got a show. We're gonna talk about that later. Tmarie got a show. So I be watching. She got a page called No More Boyfriends. Every now and then I like to go in there and start a little something because I got an issue with women who claim they don't want no boyfriend. I'm like, you're a little too sensitive for me because I like to have fun. So I'm gonna let her explain that when we get into some of this show. But I see Arneè is here, so I'm gonna get Arneè on up in here. Look like she up to no good. So she already smiled like she practicing for her trans Christian introduction. Arneè, what's happening? What's crack-a-lacking with you? Cut your mic on.
I did mute myself because I was being bad. I was trying to post the link. Happy Hump Day. Hi, everyone. Hey,
what's happening?
Hey, Marie, how beautiful.
What's up? What's that?
So, Arneè, give a quick introduction.
So, I am Arneè Harrison, habitual line crosser, real estate broker. I'm super excited to be joining the conversation today. I was trying to clear my mind and just,
go with it.
Relax before Mark incites me.
Man.
So, hold on. So, do I need to start? Do I need to start the show off with some restraining orders?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Get them off me, man.
All right, so let's just go on and jump into the good stuff because we talked about this a little bit before, and it agitates me. So I know all y'all got different takes on it, or some kind of strand on it, and this table has agitated me for years. This table, everybody want to know what somebody brings to the table. Mm-hmm. So every time I see it, Mark said something. at an event, and I started to get up and go jumping, but he was bigger than me, and I'm old. After 10 steps, I don't want to fight no more. And he was like 17 and a half steps from me, so I just let him have it a little bit. If I could have got him a little bit closer, we'd have went on at it. So, so you know, for those of y'all that know me, y'all know I love to post up and I don't say nothing because I don't want nobody to pick my side. Because some of y'all cheerleaders, and I'm okay with that. But I want you to have your own mind. And what I want us to do is always, because everybody new to the show, except Arneè, she's been here before, is when we do stuff, I like for people to have a lot of different options and a lot of different observations, because what worked for one ain't gonna work for all. And sometimes we got to think outside the box and know that, hey, this worked for me. I ain't telling you to do it. I'm just telling you it worked for me. Now, you got to figure out who you are. And it's with anything else, whether it's a 50-50 relationship or 70-30, you got to find somebody who thinks like you in that area. Opposites don't work in there. So for some of this stuff, you need to find what works for you. So, Arneè, when a man asks you, what do you bring to the table? As long as it ain't marking you throwing no glasses at him, how do you respond to that? First of all, how do you respond to it?
Honestly, typically, I don't have any men who have asked me that question. I think that people who know me, I'm a very loud person, just by nature. And I think that question is pretty much answered before. Like if you observe me 3, 4, 5 minutes, you got some answers if you're paying attention. So I don't typically get that question. I will address it a little bit outside myself. I think for a woman, and I probably should have prefaced this before, you know, I'm a Southern girl. So I come from a pretty conservative mindset. And so as a woman, Christian woman, you know, the table, that's not my job. I think that for a man, my expectation is that he has a vision in place. He has a plan in place. And in his observation of me, what he should be assessing is, do I align with that vision? And does he feel like I bring value to what he already has in motion? And so that's the expectation that I have. Not that I'm bringing my stuff. Like I do have stuff because I am a career girl. So, you know, money is not a thing. I feel like money is only a problem when there isn't any. Otherwise, we should be deciding where we're allocating and, you know, what our goals are together. But, you know, as far as that, what you bring to the table, if you got to ask that question, you're probably talking to the wrong person.
So before we start the fight, I want you to go on and write your answer down, because, you know, Mark wants somebody to pay for his first date. So I just want you to hold on to your answer. Anyway, how do I mute this brother? Because it's coming up. I put it on the show page. So, Tmarie, what's your response to this? What do you bring to the table, young lady?
So when it comes to the table, I don't think that everybody is speaking financially. Okay, let me start there. And it definitely shouldn't be a question of finance when we're talking about what do you bring to the table. I also don't think that is a direct question either, that people are actually coming sitting down like, so what do you bring to the table? If somebody has to ask you that directly, if that's a direct question that comes out of somebody's mouth, that is pretty much a person you do not want to deal with, because now there's a certain type of negotiation per se that happens to be going on instead of an assessment. And when we're talking about the table, there should be an assessment. And that assessment is works on both sides, for a man as well as a woman. And what you do want to know is find out, what does that woman or what does that man have that works along with your vision and your goal, especially as a man, because every man should have a vision, especially if they're talking about taking on a partner. But every woman should be a visionary if she's talking about connecting with the man. So when you're putting those two things together, there should be a talk about, what do I want? And how does that person align with what do I want? So the question is actually a valid question. In the sense of, you should be vetting and getting to know that person and having those conversations about what the person already has. But there shouldn't be a direct question of, what do you bring to the table? If that's a question that somebody asks you directly, then they're lacking something. Then they need to know if you have what it is that they're lacking in order to make the relationship work for them.
All right, I seen Mark take 2 deep breaths. So, Mark, when you
What's
ask
up?
a woman what she brings to the table, what is the context of that question?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I never really asked that question. Well, I never asked that question. What I do is present the table, and what I mean by that, I really more so I'm a person that self-reflects on what I can bring to whoever it is that I'm pursuing at the time. But that particular question, I kind of see that comes from a group of men that aren't really confident within themselves. That's just my personal opinion. But as far as an answer to that, which I don't know why they even ask, I would probably say a lot of times, a lot of men who may ask that question may be at a point in their lives where they may have obtained certain things, and I guess they don't want the takeaway effect, meaning that whatever they've built, they don't want anyone to actually break down what they've actually built, which is still not a good way of asking a woman that question. And honestly, when they first originally asked that question when we met up before, I'm still kind of dumbfounded by the question, to be honest with you. But myself, I really don't. I'm really a self-reflective person and see how you can enhance my situation.
Okay, and my thought on it, to me, it's a question. It ain't a first time question. It's a long-term question, and it's still a dumb question because, and I'm just gonna use one of the ladies. If I ask you out, I should have vetted you before I asked you out. So I should have some idea of what you're bringing to the table, because nobody knows, if I'm being honest. Tmarie don't know what I'm looking for unless I tell her. So she don't know what she bringing to the table that I value. And when I see women trying to explain what it is they bring to the table, that may be what you value, but it don't mean nothing to me. So I think it's as Mark said, I think it's more of an insecure question where I'm trying to, to me, it's a subliminal thing where I want you to feel like you're not worthy. So you gotta step your game up. Have I ever asked it? I have. The only time I've ever asked that question is when a woman was too aggressive with me, and she chose me without me giving her any inferences that I was even remotely interested in her. So yeah, what you bring to the table that you think I should start what I'm doing to get with you? Because I just didn't like her attitude. So yeah, I want to know what you bring to the table, because clearly I ain't saying and don't want to say nothing to you. Oh, I got this. So you got a job. What is that? What does that got to do with my table? I got a job. Clearly you made me at my job. So that's the only time I ask, because I do think it's slightly disrespectful. I should be getting to know you as we're dating, and along that way, I should see if you got traits or attributes that I like. And as a reformed serial dater, that was how I started. Yeah, well, that was how I started narrowing things down, because sometimes, and I want y'all to come in. Sometimes you can date somebody and they bring something different that you like, that you never knew you wanted till you were with that person.
Or
so you can't sit back and say, this is what I want, because you can only want what you've experienced. But if somebody show you something, you're like, shit, I didn't even know life was this good. Oh my goodness. And I think it's simple-minded to say, yeah, well, I want this from a woman, I want this from a woman, because now you're basing on everything you've ever done and not anything that may present itself.
And that's part of the vetting process. That's why vetting is so important, because you're getting to know that person for who they are, what they are, and without asking the question. So when you're properly vetting a person, getting to know a person, spending time with that person, asking them the right questions, because sometimes we feel like we're not supposed to ask questions. We're just supposed to let it all fall in our lap and hope we get whatever answer we're looking for. There's ways to ask questions to find out what you need to find out, and you should ask those questions. Again, part of the vetting process. So as you start to learn how to vet, you will start to be able to determine what type of person you're dealing with, and if you need to continue to spend time with that person, or are you starting to waste time with that person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, just to kind of add what you were saying. One part of vetting I think that we kind of overlook is observation. You can ask as many questions as you want, right? Mm-hmm. Observation and how a person walks is going to give you everything you need to. Sometimes we kind of miss things as we vet. We want to ask the questions to get the answers, but we have to also remember those particular answers, especially with women and dating men. They already pretty much have an answer set before you ask. right? So what you have to do is you just have to observe. Yeah, ask your questions, but spend more time on observation.
Right. I was going to say that was one of my 2 words: observation and listening. So I don't typically ask a lot of questions, not like direct interview questions. I may ask
and not like, of course, not direct interview questions. That's exactly what I did.
Nothing is wrong with questions at all. Like I'm not even responding to what you said. I'm not negating what you said at all. But I do. One thing that I always say to people is the way that you get to know people is through situations, really by seeing how people respond. And so when we talk about 90-day rules and, put certain time limits on things, I'm kind of like, that ain't really going to tell you what happens in 90 days if you've seen this person twice. Okay. Once you get to observe how somebody deals with adversity, losing somebody, not having something that they need. How do they go about actually making something happen that they need to make happen and they don't know how to figure it out? Like, it's just so many parts to it. And then when you are asking questions, or even when you're not asking questions, if you are listening, there are so many things that you get answered. And I think that the dating process is more about elimination than it is, you just kind of start, you're disqualifying yourself. If I have decided to spend time with you, I believe something about you, and you basically are going to just, you got 100 and then you start losing. You can start
lose points, right? You don't build points. You lose. Exactly. You lose
you can build them too, but more, I'm looking for how you going to lose them.
Because you start everybody, you give them this, whatever the opportunity is, you start them at what you're starting at, and that's 100. And so as they start to pick away, or something doesn't work, then you're like, okay, well, I see this, I notice this, I note this.
Right. And I thought you at 0 and you got to work your way up. I ain't taking no one. You either go up or you stay where you at.
That's you trying to prove something to somebody. I don't believe in starting people at 0.
That's if you do something I like, I can give you points for it. See, if I don't have no expectations, you can't never let me down. But when you show me something I ain't never seen, I be like, you know what? I like this. I like this, because she ain't trying to prove nothing. Because I'm just letting you be you. See, once you do you, if I like it, check mark.
Well, that kind of goes against what you said earlier, though. Because you're talking about when you bring somebody in, you should have already vetted them or paid attention to them to know if you want to bring them in that circle. So if you bought them in your circle, you brought them in at 100. You didn't bring in a 0, right?
I'm saying when the vetting process starts, they're at 0. By the time they get to that circle, they should be at 75 and rising. Because if you can't get up to minimum standards, I ain't finna let you come to the circle. Because that's why I was a serial dater.
Are these Starbucks dates that graduate to house or no?
But you know what though? Look, what Darren was saying, I understand what he's saying. Here's the thing: everything has to be earned. Let's start there, right? Everything has to be earned, right? So everything has to be earned, because you shouldn't give everybody everything, first of all, right? So once you blanket and says, okay, I'm gonna give everyone 100. Well, here's the thing: we don't know what to give until whatever they give us is already given. So you have to. So for me, I used to be 100 dude, right? I used to be 100 dude, but as I've gotten mature, I would probably say I'm at a stage of because I know, as far as, and I'm not saying if you don't, you're not knowing your self-worth, but me having more self-worth, I feel that only a certain caliber or type of woman, everybody can't be around me. So I'm just being honest.
So hold on. You got to pick out which one works for you. And I want to just say right quick, Mo joined. He's my conscience. So Mo got the hammer. If y'all start acting up, Mo gonna hit y'all in the head with a hammer. He the bully. But no, and this is where you got to do what works for you. Like I said, I understand both ways. I just would rather not have to take away points. When you start losing points, and this is y'all first time on the show, so I got what I call layaway dates. That's when you're losing. When you do some layaway shit, you got 90 days left, but the relationship finna be over. Because we may have something good, which is sex, but there's no chance for a future. So when I'm dating or hanging out with people, I'm seeing how you respond. Because women. And this is a good one, Tmarie. I was just talking to a lady today at work, and I said, the one issue I got with women, and I love my sisters, But you know what y'all all start off with? Y'all all start off with hope, and y'all get too many bad brothers, too many good chances. So I don't start out with hope. I start off with wherever you at, that's where we at. So without me telling you what I'm looking for, or telling you what I want in a woman, just show me who you are, because that's all. Don't give me a script to say, oh, I want a God-fearing man. I want a man who's going to go to church with me every day, because I'm going to play the role if that's what I want to do. Right. If you don't tell me, I'm going to say, hey, I know what you're doing this Sunday. You want to go to church? Then Arneè can check off, okay, but he's a church brother. Or, you know, if she's a heathen, she can be like, oh, shit, I got to watch out for him. But if she tells me everything, if I tell you what I want, because I understand people who say they date with intent and they put it all out there. Mm-hmm. But then how do you eliminate the fakers? Because now I can fake for 90 days. Mm-hmm. I can fake for 6 months because I want the prize. And if you tell me, that's what you're doing to me.
So my process was a little bit different. It's close to, it's close to what Mark was saying, but it's a little bit different. I started everybody off at 100%, and you lose points from there based on what I see. That's my process.
That's what Tmarie said.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
And that's what I say. Everybody got to pick a style that day for them. I would never tell anybody. People who can only date one person at a time, my style would never work for them. But I can't date one person at a time because I can't pay attention. And the minute you do something to agitate me, if I know there's somebody else, I ain't gonna get that upset. But if you're the only one when you do something to upset me, now I can direct all my energy towards you and whatever it was you did. I don't want to go through all that. And that's why I say everybody has to do what works better for them, because people will try to, I can't do this. And it's funny, we're gonna get to the next one, but people are like, how you sleep with all the people? And I'm like, why do y'all think dating means sex all the time? Some of y'all just nasty. I went out on dates and there was no sex involved. We just went and talked. Why do y'all think every time people say they dating 2-3 people, they sleep with 2 or 3 people? To me, that tells me more about what you do in your life, because you can't go on a date without having sex. But
that's what everybody's idea of dating. Well, not everybody. That's why people get upset when people say they are dating or seeing more than one person, because they equate dating as a status. Dating is not a status. Dating is an activity. It is the activity of getting to know someone. So when you put dating in the right context, then you will understand why it is important to date more than one person. You should not stick yourself with one person in the beginning, because you will get used to just that one person. And you will start accepting things, good or bad, because you have no other options. When you realize what dating actually is, again, getting to know a person, dating should not include sex. And if you decide to include sex, you have to understand that didn't mean that you created a commitment or a relationship. That just means you did things out of order, and now you have to deal with something else, right? You've added something to the pot that you don't necessarily go there. So now you're bringing conflict and confusion to yourself because you stepped and did something out of order. So dating isn't, and it shouldn't reflect, it should not involve sex. It just really shouldn't.
Boy, yeah, never dating if I can't get no sex. Boy, that's just too much.
Well, I'll just say this. I think Tmarie did hit the nail on the head. And I think sometimes people define things what best fits their own situation. But let's be real, like she was saying earlier, dating simply means, I'm a words guy, so it means data, right? So basically, if you really look up its original origin, it means data. So when you're going out on a date, you're gathering data, right? And once you get that data, then you go to courting, right? That's the next phase. But we're gonna stay on date. We're gonna stay on date. I think sometimes people get those things mixed up, and they think dating is everything outside of that, when it's just simply gathering data. That's it.
What you got, Mo?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's just I look at it like it's almost like an interview process, right? Before you get the job, right? You got to go through this process where people interview you, they get information, just like my man said. He said data. They figure out who you are, what you. We like this term, what you bring to the table, not financially, but just as a person and your personality and, where you want to go with your life in the future. That's the data you need to collect before you make your decision.
And I think that's the only time when, and I can't even say that, when intent comes in, because if I'm honest, and I think I know everybody. When I met Trina, I was not interested in marriage. And it's funny, most of us know each other through clothes, some other form like that. And I knew other women, and they're like, I ain't never think you would get married. And I was like, it wasn't I don't want to get married. You just never made me feel like I wanted to marry you. But different guys do different things. Roy ain't here right now, but Roy wants to be married. And he's a producer of the show. And I have no issues with people who want to be married. I just think sometimes you miss a lot of things when you already looking at the end of the piece as opposed to getting there. Because to me, when I see a lot of them who got into bad relationships early, it's because you were looking for marriage, so everybody was saying the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I tell everybody, I won't even take a woman serious till we had 2 good arguments and we both had the chance to walk away. We didn't, because now I know what you're gonna do under stress. You're gonna stay here and fight through this. So that means you kind of love me, and it means you kind of foolish, which means you're in love, because love makes you do foolish shit. Because when you're into somebody, when the first time to break up, what you do? You just walk out the door. You just walk away. Mm-hmm. But if you like, you know what, I'm gonna fight for this idiot. Shit, now we might be working with something now, because I know under stress this is what we're gonna do. But again, this is part of the vetting process, which is why I say I give you more points. Now that I see where you at, oh yeah, that's big. I ain't gonna tell you that up front, but that's big. I was just picking at you, Roy. So, and this is why it's always good to talk to a group of people and listen to different scenarios. So because I hate people say, well, I did what so-and-so said, but is that your mentality? Is that your lifestyle? Because now you're trying to play somebody else's role, but you don't know how they respond under stress. You don't know what to do when this happens. Arneè got a plan. If she don't like certain things, that's what she gonna do. Tmarie got a plan. Tmarie can't follow Arneè's plan because sometimes she's like, well, shit, Arneè, he just did this. What am I supposed to do? So you not doing what's genuine to yourself. Right. And when we're dating, getting to know each other, as Mark said, we're talking about dating now. We ain't talking about getting married or getting engaged. We're talking about the getting to know each other process. So in the beginning, if he's asking you about this table, or if she's asking you about this table, they haven't done any work. And as I think Mo said it earlier, they look for somebody to help fund them, because they need to know what kind of money you got. Because now I need to know, or they say she got a career. Oh, I know what she bring to the table. I can keep being a bum now. Hey, do you have 2 cars too? Oh, she got 2 cars, so now I can borrow one of her cars while she at work. Because this would be something that you noticing along the way. So when Tmarie, and I'm gonna pick on the ladies right now, when they see a guy, or even me, Mark, and Mo, we see a woman and we think she's cute, okay, we notice that part. As you get older, that's not the most important part. It counts though. Most of us are shallow and won't say it. We'll say we're selective, shallow, picky, whatever it is. Synonym, they all mean the same thing. But you need something to get our attention, because very rarely do we just start off in conversation. Whatever it was you got attention, that got you your seat at the table. Because now you got some, because we're old enough now to know if it's just after hour stuff we don't have to sit at the table. We can go have a drink and then go to the after spot and be done with it. So when you hear this question, to me, it's so disrespectful, because it's like, I don't think you should, so tell me why you should be sitting here. That's what I hear. Tell me why you should be sitting here. So, like I said, that's just always one of me. And see, that ain't the answer Mark gave at the show, because I wanted him to repeat his answer, because I was like, I know you want to see it.
You know what? I was thrown off that day, and I was a little bit, out of my mind, a little tipsy though. So, because I wasn't ready for all that. I was in the audience.
Yeah, I know
you were on that with that panel. Yeah.
See, Mark, I'm gonna help you out. It was so many beautiful black women in one room, I would throw it off too. That's what it was. And let me just get this little quick one in. When you're in a room full of a bunch of beautiful black women, there were quite a few. I gotta admit, I was there with my wife, but hey, she know I'm looking. And they were classy, they were smart, they didn't look like they was dressed for Freaknik 23. Ain't nothing like that. And I'm gonna be honest, because hell, I did security. When you see them, it still throws you off a bit, because it's like you almost feel like a kid in the cancer, because you can't just stop looking around. You can't. And I be wanting, fellas, why we can't do the same thing for women? Why is it when we have a show, we come in sweats? Why is it when we have a show, we come in shorts and dirty sneakers? Why we can't just put on I ain't saying you got to wear a top. Why you can't wear a collared shirt and some hard bottom shoes? Why? I'm just saying. I'm going to put that out there, because we're going to do another show, because I got some more questions that's going to take us past this hour. But I got to take a quick commercial break while I'm doing this, so I don't get in trouble. Let me figure out how to do this. And while we on break, y'all can't talk to me. So, but for those of y'all who watching, go on and get you another drink, because we're going to still get Mark in trouble. Arneè ready to smack him. I already got it set up for everything. So, Arneè, get your boxing gloves out and your pistol. All right? Let's see, which commercial block do I want to play here as I'm playing with the system? We'll be right back. Y'all know what it is.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
I'm returning to Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Oh, Sookie, we is back. And everybody's still here. So y'all ready to start some more trouble? And right, I got 2 slides. I don't know how to put them in. You know, so I didn't get that lesson, but I got to put them in. So what I want to do on the next topic, because I gave them some, because you know, as I tell you, most of the things I talk about are things that people just come up and say to me, or they inbox me and they ask me. And one that I hear a lot is a lot of us have missed out on good relationships looking for a better one, because we got something really, really good, but man, I don't know, it might be something better out there. It might be something, it might not be. And I thought it was a guy thing at first till I heard a couple of women say it. It's like, damn, you know, I thought this brother wasn't gonna grow up, I thought this, and he got married. And I said, well, first of all, a lot of it is you. Don't take it personal, but as we like to say, I could go out on a date with Tmarie and Arneè. We could do the exact same thing, but it ain't gonna be the exact same date. And if all 3 of us took all them out and we did the exact, we ain't gonna all have the same experience. And that's something people gotta understand. Sometimes it ain't you, and that ain't a bad thing. It's just not you. There's nothing else going on there. Let it be. But when I hear people give up on what they got, everything going good, but I just think I could do better. I feel like I could do better. And first of all, has anybody ever not felt like they could do better?
Not can do better. I think sometimes I guess sometimes in dating, when you're trying to figure out you know, where you are and the person that you're dating and where they are. Sometimes, you know, through that process, I've probably been in that position before, just more so in the beginning dating stages, where okay, this is what I have. Is there something better out there? But once I think I've established, okay, this is the one, I pretty much stay the course. I mean, I don't really deal with that.
Yeah, and I'll just say this, you know, same thing with me. Short term, I felt like that, you know, you see, you know, they call them red flags, right? You see red flags, you see issues, you see things that you probably just don't want to tolerate long term. And that, you know, that'll shut it down for me, you know. So short term, I've seen it. And long term, you know, if we, you know, we got, let's say 80% of the things we have are working, and then there's this 20%. And based on that 20%, I need to make a decision. Is something I'm willing to be flexible with or not? And based on that, you know, I make my decision from there.
I think it takes some maturity to get to that place that you're talking about, the 80-20. That's something you need to kind of know ahead of time. But until you learn that, sometimes you always would be thinking, damn, could something be better? Especially in times of turmoil, or somebody's giving you something that you're really not agreeing with, and you know, it's not really working for you. You have a tendency, if you're not already grounded, to be asking yourself, is there something better? Could I be with something better? So in order to grow, quote unquote, out of that, you really have to understand what that 80-20 looks like. First of all, you need to understand that there is an 80-20, or whatever, you know, the percentages is. Everybody's not going to be perfect, right? So whatever those imperfections are, you need to understand if you can tolerate what those are, right? But until you get that way, sometimes we're always trying to see if there's it could be something better.
Tmarie, you my girl. Give me for a minute, Darren. Tmarie, you my girl. He just asked you personally, do you?
I'm not saying me.
Yes, do you?
Get on my nerves. Shut your ass. Shut up. He said we can't cook.
He simply said, do you? Tell your story.
Mark, this is not your show. Shut up. So me, yes. And I'm saying it from my point of view. Yes, I have done that before. And I'm saying it took me a minute to get to that 80-20. Shut up, Mark. Yes, I've done that before. Okay. Dang.
Yeah, let me just add to that. You got to do that, because here's the thing. If you're trying to buy a car and you go to the car lot and they got all Toyotas on the lot, right? That's not going to give you the variation you're looking for. You need to see all the cars. You ain't seen a Cadillac yet. You ain't seen a Porsche yet. You ain't seen these other cars. You know what I mean? So you need to. That's why dating is important. You need to do that. That way you can figure out what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, as I said in the beginning, sometimes you think you know what you like until you get with somebody who shows you something totally different. I can tell you there were certain foods I thought I liked. I liked them by the person who was cooking them. I didn't like certain other foods, but it was the way they cooked them. Because when somebody else, I'm like, damn, I ain't never liked this before. But you're a different type of cook. And sometimes we overthink things. Because now, if we're being honest, sometimes we were too good for the person and there was better out there. But I think I would say that I probably missed out on one or two good relationships because I was looking for something better and they had potential. If I'm honest, I didn't have the time. And I had to accept that I didn't have the time. I turned down some women simply because I wasn't good for what they wanted. They, as y'all said earlier, they were on the timeline. They looking to do something in the next 2-3 years. And I think both ladies agree. When a man is trying to build his empire, for us to feel secure, a lot of times that's way more important to us. I mean, I hear all the stuff about you make time for what you want, but for us to be the king and want all these other things that the hunters want, we need to feel a certain way, even though you're right there with us and a lot of us love y'all to death. But we want to make sure we got a nice sturdy table before we have you come sit down and decorate it. Because I'm gonna buy the house, I want you to make it a home. But that's my interpretation. And that's why we have to have conversations with different people, because I don't know how y'all I don't want y'all to tell me right now. But some things that we think at 30 plus ain't what we thought at 21. Some things we think at 40 ain't what we thought at 30. So it's all a growing process as to what we will and won't put up with. Because when you're in your early 20s, women especially, they'll put up with a struggling man. I'm a firm believer that at 40, you shouldn't be putting up with a struggling man unless that's what you want to do. But make sure that you understand the struggle, and that's what you're going to be. But you can't say, oh, this. And I get some guys struggle a long time. Hey, everybody deserves a shot. But at some point, you got to know what's on your list of must-haves. And you can negotiate with the other stuff. You had your hand up, Mark?
Nah, I'm just.
So you ain't got to raise your hand. Hey, Mark, we cyber. I ain't going to let Tmarie jump you on cyber camera. You know what I'm saying?
It's that other one down at the bottom over there, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. Go ahead.
So, and I think this is what happens when a lot of people keep looking for something better. It's something within you where you ain't happy, and you should just admit that up front.
Right.
Because you know, I hear people say they want to be in a relationship, and you see every 3-4 weeks they got a new boyfriend or a girlfriend. I ain't knocking you, but you really like sex, and you just don't want to say that you're sleeping around, so you keep giving people a title. But this ain't what you want. If you swapping out like that, you need to look inside yourself. Maybe you ain't ready for a real relationship. You just like what you like. You 40 plus now. You grown. Have sex and just claim it, and then you ain't got to be ashamed about it. Or just quit telling everybody you got a new boyfriend.
I don't think it's necessarily sex, though. Do you think it's sex, or they just haven't really figured out what they want to do? Because I don't think that it's, okay, I got sex and now I'm on to the next person. I don't necessarily think that's what it is. I think it's most of the time they get with somebody and they really haven't figured out themselves what they want, right? Most of the time when people are jumping from one person to the next person to the next person, it's often because they haven't even decided what they even want for real. You know, and so you get into this and it's like, no, that ain't what I want. And you get into this and you're like, no, that's not what I want. I don't think it's necessarily a sex thing. Maybe on the male side, maybe. But
y'all nasty.
I didn't say we ain't nasty.
Y'all are posted first. So if you ain't sure what you want, why you keep telling everybody you got a new boo and he the right one? It's your soulmate. This is
But they don't have nothing to do with sex.
What they doing? They didn't get that from going to Bible study or Barnes and Noble.
Well, what if you have decided what you want and you're dating through people who just are not able to provide it? So that's another option as well. It's not necessary. I do agree with you, though, that a lot of people don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. However, I do think there are some people who are very decided and they just haven't found it.
Don't be posting it though. That's
right. That was what I was going to say. How do you know? Like, why are we involved in it? Is my question.
Right.
I do want to circle back to one thing. We brought up the word struggle, and that makes me question how people assess situations. Because when we talk about people struggling at 20, 30, 40, and I'd rather use a term and let's make it a little less defensive, still figuring it out or still working it out. So, you know, I don't know if you guys saw, tuned in to some of the Steve Harvey drama that has been taking place this week, but I will say that I heard him say some things on Monday that made me think about, him and Marjorie starting their relationship late in life. Mm-hmm. He was saying, they met during a period of reset. Yeah. I would not look at Steve Harvey as a struggling man. He is someone who had a plan, somebody that is in motion, which does sometimes have ebbs and flows. And sometimes you have to assess what is a struggle and what is something that's waiting for you to be plugged in to the table to make that table steady, to make those things come together and make those things work. So, sometimes it's not always about what's already in place. Sometimes you can't get in place because I am the missing piece that makes your wheel turn. And I think sometimes we have to dig a little deeper to assess what we're really looking at. So sometimes I don't look at symptoms, not, the fact that maybe you don't have any money today, but do you have a plan or a vision that is going to get to the money? And, I'm the administrator, you're not organized, like, what it's supposed to do, but you just can't execute. So you got to be able to assess the situation as well. And that goes back to the vetting that Tmarie was talking about. That goes back to the observation that Mark is talking about, and how all those things work together to make that power couple, make that thing work, make that relationship that you've been waiting for, the greener grass.
And then also like real quick, also like she was saying about the plan, Absolutely, and I've said this before, executing the plan. One thing about me, and I've said this 1,000 times, I think sometimes we often forget, but working with a man with a plan is great, but also the execution of it and how you can tell if it's being executed. A man will tell you every step that he takes while he's executing that plan. Mm-hmm. We will walk you through the process. Mm-hmm. If he says he has a plan and you ain't heard none in a month,
right.
But that's what I'm talking about. Remember, we were talking about observation and listening.
Yes.
So yeah, I done heard your little layout and your little outline. But guess what? You've been on the couch.
Yeah.
Right. So you all those things.
It ain't just me who making y'all stand up. Mark telling y'all a man with a plan will inform the woman of his plan and how it's going, so she'll stay by his side while he's struggling. Right. See, you shouldn't be struggling in silence because she's watching you. I know y'all got mad at me. You want to keep it a secret. That means you don't want her around, in my opinion. But we're gonna take a break because we're gonna come back with some more. I got, man. But this producing and hosting at the same time, this something else right here. I'm gonna have to ask for a raise. I need my union rep. We'll be right back, y'all.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Nice little clip here. Mark still here. He ain't got no bruises on it. Arneè ain't started drinking and then. So we everything going pretty smooth so far. Mo ain't had to drop the hammer. Now we done talked about a lot of stuff and not a lot of stuff. But like I said, this is my little group and they do stuff. And y'all know the one something I like is I like people who don't give politically correct answers. It's all cute, but nobody learns anything. If you can't tell people who can tell you about the mistakes they made, because most of us ain't perfect and we ain't ashamed to admit it. and they can tell you what they did wrong. That don't mean you should do it. It just tell you what they did wrong. Then we can't learn, because too many times men and women both will stay in something because they think that's what everybody else doing, because they don't realize what's going on the other side. It's like, man, I thought it was gonna be like this, and I started to say, one, relationships ain't easy. I hear people saying this and saying that, and I look funny at people and they say, yeah, me and my wife ain't never had an argument. And I just be like, for real? For real? And then when you talk to, oh, we've had some disputes. The dispute involve you sleeping in another room or not with your wife. Well, that's an argument, but y'all don't like that word because you don't want to say y'all argue. Because I don't know people who have been in real relationships that ain't had real arguments. And for me, again, this is just for me.
DVP.
Yes, sir.
Let me just say this, DVP. Yeah, so I know a couple, they say they don't argue. They have spirited debates. So
right. You'll call them anything but what they are.
And any other name.
Right. And you know, and it's crazy how we get caught up on semantics, but okay, whatever you want to call it. Because unless you into the Coming to America thing, you like puppies, who want, let me not go there. Most of us who are strong-willed, we like a woman who has her own opinion, who can say what she got. Because as I've said before, if I'm gonna do something stupid, I hear a lot of these guys, I want you to support me no matter what. Well, you should get you a dog. If I'm gonna do something stupid, I need you to pull me by my collar. And this is an adult show. I done said it before. If I'm gonna do something stupid, say, hey, come to bed, get some, and go to bed. But don't be like, okay, baby, whatever you want to do. If you know that ride or die shit, to me, that's the dumbest shit going. And when I hear chicks say, oh, I'm a ride or die, she automatically go to layaway. Maybe she can have great sex for 90 days, but that's all we can do. Because if you would let me die, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I want you to say, baby, I don't care how good it sounds. If I got to die at the end,
Hey, look, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Y'all hear me? All right, cool, because I'm jumping in here in the middle of something. But Ms. Harrison, I just want to say, church, thank you. I've been saying what you said the last segment for what, D, how long we been doing this show? 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because there is a difference, and I think people have to realize there is a difference between struggling, sacrificing, and a process.
Yes.
My man would say, Mark, you hit it right on the head, bro. If a man is not telling you anything, he's hiding something from you. Especially if y'all in a relationship and y'all working together, supposed to be working together, he gonna give you, if he like, baby, I got you, and you know he has a plan, he's gonna give you all of the details of that plan. He's not gonna make you think anything. Because when we let our imaginations run wild, that's the end of the road. You might as well forget it. When you don't let my imagination run wild. So if y'all, in case y'all didn't know, I was the one putting in 100% honesty, all that kind of stuff. That did tell you. See, like I said, I'm the Jedi in the group. He the Sith. You know, we both ain't right all the time, but he used to do stuff just a little bit different.
What?
And we agree on so much, but we disagree on a lot of things. Just like he was talking about with the purpose, with dating for a purpose. Yes, I date with a purpose, but just because we go out to date tonight don't mean I'm trying to marry you tomorrow. That ain't how that works. Because I'm not just gonna bring anybody into my entire process. As opposed to what, good God, okay, I don't know what happened with this camera. The light just came back on in the room I was in. But yeah, so I just wanted to jump in and say that. I just wanted to be like, yeah, I appreciate that comment. You got a fan. I like that. That's that. I have been dying to hear a woman say that on this show for 10 years. Because a lot of women don't. You'd be surprised at how many women don't either understand that or won't articulate it. So it could be either one. But D, have you ever heard any other sister say that? I think Trina may have came close to it, but she didn't say the same thing. She didn't say what you said. And that's amazing because I've been trying to get people to understand that for years.
Right. I think it's because people kind of misinterpret the whole idea of help meet. Like, we do need each other. Like, there is no, separation in that. And sometimes while people feel like people should already be together, if you already 100%, you do not need me.
Hello, D. What was my process? I said, ladies, y'all need to understand this about a man. If he has everything he needs when he gets you, you are an accessory. And when he get tired of you, or he see a shiny new accessory that he like better, guess what's gonna happen? Replacement. So okay, I'm stepping to let y'all continue this conversation, but I'm tuned in and listening.
And what he said, it had so much truth because in this process, because we're gonna do it round two, y'all, because this already 7:00, and I won but 5 minutes late. But what we don't understand sometimes is we get caught up in the glitz and glamour, and that's why I say if we ain't had two real fights and we chose to stay together, for me, I already know where I place you because I know it ain't gonna be all cookies and cream. So there are times when you're gonna have your opinion, and everybody who know me know I like opinionated women. I dated women who would just do whatever I said, and it just didn't do nothing for me. Hey, it's some guys out there who would love your draws. I need a woman who, and don't take this the wrong way, and I'm sure y'all won't, that when she doing something wrong and I give it a look and I say, babe, you need to shut up and sit down. Not in public, but she know what it means because you give her that look and you can just whisper, babe, shut up right now. And they be like, okay. And when I'm doing something wrong, I need for her to have the courage and the energy and the attitude to check me if I need to be checked. If you're going to be scared of me, then why are you with me? If you're going to just bow down, again, you're going to be replaced because I can get another puppy. Puppies are, as much as people love dogs, puppies are replaceable. I want somebody who is going to, when I get sick, they can take over. They can run it till I get back on it. Because who is always at their best? Arneè got her business. Tmarie got her thing. They won't help too. I can't be so caught up in my own thing that when they won't help, I can't be subservient. Oh man, I ain't helping a woman. She's supposed to help me. That's not how it works. And this one I'm going to talk about before we get to these slides. One of the things I always hate, and I talk to people about, it's like, man, this is how she met me. I ain't changed for nobody. When you're single, you only got to decide for one person. One person. You cannot enter a relationship saying I'ma still be me, because that means your mind ain't changing. Once you accept that, and this is what I've heard from most ladies, I'm gonna be the decision maker. There are times when the decision will benefit me more. There are times when it'll benefit you more. But if I have earned the right, most men want to earn the right to be the decision maker, so that when we do something, she may not like it, but she knows you have a history of good decision making. That's how most grown women, and you have to decide what type of grown woman you want. Because if we're constantly battling because she got to be the decision maker and I got to be the decision maker, that won't work for me. It'll work for a lot of other guys. But you have to figure out your yin and yang. What do y'all complement each other? Where I'm weak, is she stronger? Where she's, and to me, that's the whole process. But it's the vetting process, it's the being honest process. Because good looks, a lot of people are good looking. We in Atlanta. There's a lot of good looking people everywhere. Tmarie, you was rocking your head. Come on, give me something, Tmarie. Give me something.
Well, so this, I mean, you're absolutely right when it comes to dating and getting together and being in relationships, because people have their thing. Like Mark and I was talking about this earlier. Some men like women who are stronger, and more, and quote unquote more aggressive, and come off what they would say is in masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? And some men like that. It doesn't mean just because we're like that, it doesn't mean we don't deserve love or protection or covering either. It just means that when we operate the way we operate, we're not dainty, quote unquote, or whatever that feminine energy is supposed to look like. It doesn't mean we're not a woman. It doesn't mean we're not soft. It doesn't mean we don't deserve to be loved on. It doesn't mean we don't deserve to be taken care of. It just means you have a woman who also knows how to handle her business. That's it. Who has a business that has to be handled.
You said something, because I asked guys, what is emasculating about her having survival skills? I'm trying to figure out how that's emasculating or even masculine energy. The fact that she can do shit, that's masculine. I mean, because I asked, give me some definitions of masculine energy, because I'm confused when y'all keep saying it. Because unless you pick me up by my shoulder and punch me, you're not exhibiting masculine energy. She showed you she can survive. She showed she can get shit done.
The bigger issue is, why are you experiencing her that way in your presence? Why does she have to be her masculine self in your presence? Who are you? Because I would say this, when I am in the presence of a man who is a leader, the Arneè that is 9 to 5, those not really my opposite.
She's exactly
right, but she a whole different a lot of people won't believe that I'm like super a punk and soft, but only when I have permission to do that, because I know that I don't have to be the bear. You know what I'm saying?
Unless Marcus around.
Yeah. She gonna get out. If you don't do it, she'll get out and change her own tire.
Because I have to. Right.
That's a survival skill. That ain't a masculine skill. Because I know lots of dudes that can't change the tire.
Right.
Hey, but you know what? I'm sorry, Darren. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you think?
No. Okay, and Tmarie, you already know what I'm coming at with this masculine thing, right? We had this conversation, right? Here's my philosophy behind the masculine woman. Honestly, I think it's, for me, this is just my own philosophy, okay? I basically say it's simulated masculinity, right? I don't think a woman really truly knows what masculinity is. She acts and simulates it through her having to take care of herself, take care of her bills, and etc. So I call it simulated masculinity, and I think, and for me envisioning it that way, it's a way for me to say, okay, this woman, like Arneè was saying, this woman is having to do da. She really doesn't want to do it. And what she understands is that this is not masculinity. It seems like what masculine men, what we do as far as, yes, we do providers, etc., and it looks masculine. But I truly believe, I may be wrong, it's simulated masculinity, where it's not true masculinity, because what represents masculinity, again, I'm a wordsmith, I love words and etc. Science is the why. Last time I checked, I don't think women have why. You're two X's, which is feminine.
But why is changing a tire masculine energy? Why is having a job masculine energy? Why is wanting to pay for something, Mark? If she want to pay for something, it's funny, men don't consider that masculine energy. I'm confused. Make that part make sense to me.
Well, as far okay, and me and T, we talk about this. Me and T, we go. I wouldn't say back and forth, but we do have these conversations. And honestly, for me, I think being masculine is also showing leadership qualities. I think anytime you allow a woman's mindset, situation, etc., throw you off from who you are, that's the biggest problem, I think. I don't think it's really about the woman. I think that sometimes as men, we're definitely not showing a lot of leadership that we should. When you see things as such, when you have a woman that's coming off being masculine or simulated masculinity, at that time as a man, you have to approach it a little bit different than what we typically do. Some men will remove themselves and say, hey, this woman is too blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you just take time out. You can kind of diffuse the situation by not maximizing the levels as far as where she is. If she's high, you stay where you're supposed to be. That's the masculine thing to do, right? Instead of going up there with her. Once you stay at your level, she'll come down. Right. And if she doesn't come down, then guess what? It's time to go.
And see, I'm glad you said that. And we're gonna do that because we're gonna have a man show.
Right.
If you keep going up with her, you know what you're doing? You're arguing with a woman like a woman.
Right. I just said that today. I just said that.
Because when most women are spirited, especially if you get a strong one. And when sometimes they raise their boys, you gotta just calm down, and you gotta do what we do when we were around foreigners. If you start talking softer, they're gonna start talking softer. You can control the narrative. Right. You don't have to sit there and flex and say, call out her name. All you gotta do is just and shit. Sometimes, just walk and get you some water. Just walk. But to sit there and try to yell back with her, you're her now, because she's arguing at her level. Mm-hmm. And I hear what you're saying, Mark. And this is why we're gonna do a separate show, because too many times we call survival skills masculine skills. Mm-hmm. And it's not that, because we don't stay. So we force them to learn survival skills, which should be innate in them anyway, because that's a human thing. Survival is the thing that drives us. But anytime a woman act like she can survive without us, oh, she masculine. That to me makes zero sense. She's supposed to be able to survive. Like we're supposed to be able to survive without them. As Arneè said, I think we're supposed to be each other's helpmate. We're supposed to make each other's life better. But if we can't get together, Should Arneè be in the corner crying now because she don't have a husband? Should Tmarie be crying because they don't have a husband? No. Oh, look at her. She out there doing big shit. She selling houses. That's masculine. That's not. She got to eat. And Mark won't them to pay for the first date, so she got to eat.
Hey, before we leave here tonight, we got to definitely clear two things up, but that's one of them. But go ahead, Darren.
No, you know, hey, I'll wait. I'm like, oh, now he don't want to talk about it. I can't stand.
Oh, no. I got it. I'm just trying to stay on your topic, so but we can get there. We can go there.
All right, I want to do something right quick because one of the things we was talking about, one of the conversations, do we date the paper or the person?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if y'all can see this, and somebody posted this. Can y'all see Angela and Tanya?
Yes.
And I thought it was real disingenuous because if you're gonna do this, then make them similar. Don't put one and do this and then think, because it's funny. A woman posted this first, and there were guys who were picking Tanya and giving reasons. And all of them say, oh, it's because of nipple showing, it's because of this. And it's funny because like all these guys telling you why. They're telling you the son likes them. The mother don't hate them. But these women don't want to hit it. Oh, you just like her because she this. You don't like the other one because she that. And it's like, but you gave some examples. And they're sticking to what you wrote down, which is why they won't pick this woman.
Darren,
you know, yeah.
Will you read the difference between Angela and Tanya? Because my screen, the chat is covered.
Yeah, the chat is covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angela is 31 years old, no kids. She's an attorney. She makes $100,000 a year. Hey, hold on. Roy, can you move the banner? Because I don't know how to do that. Angela doesn't like sports or pets. She's high maintenance. The sex is average. Her mother hates you. She's raised in the suburbs. Then we have Tanya, who is 33 years old with a 9-year-old son, no job, going to nursing school. She loves sports and pets. Ex-stripper, sex is great. Son likes you, raised in the projects. And I'm looking at women who are betting for men. And they were like, oh, she an attorney. She highly educated. She was raised in a good home. And I'm like, don't none of that say that.
Neither
I was from a damn good home. But without the picture, if her mama don't like me, it's a no-go. If she high maintenance, and to me, it's like, why you don't like high maintenance? To me, high maintenance means she can't afford it, because if she can take care of her own shit, she ain't high maintenance. That's my interpretation. But she don't like sports or pets, which means she probably ain't family oriented. Her mama don't like me. The sex is okay. How many times have y'all heard people say, oh, I can be with somebody with bad sex, and they end up cheating? Because it sounds good to you in that relationship with bad sex. Then you realize this ain't where you want to be. I don't care how great the person is. I've been a maintenance man before I got married. And lots of women say, well, the sex is horrible, but he's a good dude. But I thought you could do this. And they find out they can't. So for those of us who like sex, it's an unwritten priority. So I had my people make something a little more realistic. Because, Mark, and I think you answered, but just based on the description, qualify each woman or disqualify.
Sorry, you asked me which one would I choose?
No, I'm saying qualify them based on their merits. Qualify or disqualify.
I would probably disqualify Angela, because it seems like, from what this description, mother hates you, raised in suburbs, high maintenance. Sometimes I've found that some, some, not all, high maintenance women, there's no flexibility. I believe in being flexible. And if you're just as stern, there's no way you can see my point. And so we can't get anywhere. So I would definitely disqualify Angela out the picture. Tanya, I can't see the other parts of her, but
33 years old, 9-year-old son, no job, goes to nursing school, loves sports, pets, extra, but sex is great, son, like she raised in projects.
Okay. Great, ex stripper. Not having nursing school. I think Tanya would probably be disqualified. I thought I saw some things in there that were some things I can probably work with. But now I see I can't work with Tanya either. So yeah, both of them are
I want to talk about this one because I commented on this and got some responses that I was really surprised with.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. Because I'm jumping back in. Hey, y'all, this is Roy again. I'm behind the banner, so you can't see me. And D, I actually messaged you an image in Messenger. Download that and bring that. I want you to bring that one in too. It's something I wrote a while back. I kind of disagree with Mark just a little bit. I disqualify Angela. The only reason I disqualify Angela is because of her mother. I'm not trying to get into no relationship with nobody whose mama don't like me, because she is going to be sabotaging the relationship every opportunity she gets. I mean, to me, that just doesn't make any sense that you try to be with somebody whose family or parents don't like you. I mean, that has to be some powerful love. But for me, I'm disqualifying that because it doesn't work for me. As far as Tanya, nothing that she did disqualifies me. We all have a past. The fact that she's in nursing school shows me that she's trying to do something. I'm like, D, we know a bunch of nurses.
That was missing. That was missing. I saw that. I did pick Tanya is because she was actually trying to achieve greater things, but I don't see that on here.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
I got my readers. I don't have my readers on.
It's the second one. It says she doesn't have a job now, but she's going to nursing school. I mean, my sister's a nurse. I got 2 really good friends who are nurses. So that's work. Again, she's showing me that she's trying to do something better than where she was. Where she was raised is irrelevant, because it's not about where you were raised. It's about how you evolve in your environment and throughout your environment. You know, the fact that she's a stripper, so what? I used to be a cage dancer. Who the hell cares? You know, that doesn't disqualify her from being a good person. I mean, I know plenty of strippers that literally did that because they are gorgeous women who were able to work their ways through college. You know, so that's when I had to jump in on that. That touched the nerve.
I have something to say. Can I raise my finger? Can we talk about this?
Go ahead, Tmarie.
So we're talking about, honestly, we're just talking about two different type of women,
right?
Who really aren't qualified or disqualified based on the person that's looking at them. Somebody could date Angela. Just because the mother doesn't like them doesn't mean that she's not dateable or qualified. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we look at this, both of these women are qualified. They're just qualified for different people. So we shouldn't say that we're disqualifying them based on anything.
No,
they're both.
Well, he is.
The point was that women were trying to tell men what they like. The men were saying why they would pick sons. And I was like, it's disingenuous when you use that picture, because as I say,
either one. We can't tell you which one of y'all. You know.
No, you're right. A woman ain't, because they're gonna just list, like I said, because the men they gave a description. So if you just put the body up. Me, I like smaller women. Some dudes like thicker women. So if I was just looking at the picture, I would pick Angela. But you didn't give me that, and that's why, like, the woman who put it up just was trying to stop. Men gonna always do this. Men gonna always do that. So I had let me see if I can do this.
Well, hold on, man. Before you go on,
I'm just changing the picture.
Oh, okay,
because I had one of my guys do it with women who look similar. Right. So now, if you're gonna do it, don't try to stack the deck to one side so you can say, "Oh, men always want the body." Give two, and because they still reading the thing, the women were going more into the facts, and it's the thing we were saying. People always trying to tell you who to date, because even though we've all met people who look good on paper, did they appeal to us personally?
It's all your personal choice. You know,
everybody
doesn't like the same thing. And so what I get upset with women about is exactly what you're saying, Darren, is that we always, and I'm going to say we just because I'm talking about us as women, try to tell y'all what y'all like. We don't listen enough sometimes to what you say you like, because we're so busy trying to tell you what you like.
Or you trying to tell what your ex-boyfriend like.
Huh?
Are you trying to tell what your ex-boyfriend like? And
that part.
Right. And so at the end of the day, in my coaching, when I have clients, I'm like, you have to listen to you first of all know what you want, but at the end of the day, when a man says that's what he wants, that's exactly what he wants. You can't tell him anything else other than what he told you. You're not paying attention. You're trying to make him who you want him to be when he's already told you who he is.
And if we're fair, it's the same way with women. Some women like beard, some women don't. I'm sorry, Mo. You said you had something to say, Mo?
Yeah, I wanted to just put my answer in.
Okay, go ahead.
For the other two, not these two.
All I did was change the picture. The facts are still the same. I just changed the picture.
Nah,
he needs the other picture.
Yeah, the other. So look, that's the thing, right? This visual is different, right? You don't see the other lady over there, the stripper, the ex-stripper lady. These ladies look presentable, both of them. But the ex-stripper lady, you know, that puts a visual in your mind, and you kind of think you know all about her. So the visual is different. So they're not the same thing.
And that's what I was saying. The lady who posted she was being disingenuous, trying to get people to sway a certain way, as opposed to two that looked alike and then listening, because she didn't really want to hear what guys had to say. In her mind, if you don't pick Angela, it's because you want a woman you can do all this stuff. And guess what? Most of us do like to have fun, but there are a lot of guys who like Angela for whatever reason they did. And it's like you can't tell. Again, it's funny when I made the post that there's nothing that all guys like. Here, all guys don't like women. And then I get a guy talking, but that's not a real man. You don't get to define a real man. Science does that. Science does that. All men don't like women. All men, there's nothing that all men like, period. So there's nothing that all women like. All women don't like good looking dudes. All women don't like dudes over 6 feet. I've seen more dudes under 6 feet married than over 6 feet. So I'm just like, make that make sense. But
Aaron don't like chicken.
Hey, slow your roll. This is where we get caught up in that paper versus the person, because we've dated people who probably didn't meet standards that other people thought we should have, but they either made us feel good, they gave us something that maybe it was something we didn't know we even needed at that time, but they didn't stress us. It was a peaceful relationship. Oh, why you with him? So the smile on my face ain't got shit to do with it. You don't think the smile is a good enough reason? You could do so much. How you know what I like? You ain't even asked me. Don't you want this? Don't you want that? No, I got what I want. Go on over and be unhappy by yourself. And that's why, because somebody's on paper, a lot of us look good. And a lot of people on paper ain't shit. That's why they'll blame it on work, but that's why they're alone. Because they ain't shit. They gotta, what's the guy say? Oh, he just paying for women. Because, whatever. Yeah, because you ain't shit. So yeah, just keep paying and don't waste somebody's time. But we can't keep getting caught up in the paper trails, because Arneè, Tmarie, when y'all go out on a date, do y'all take a resume with y'all so he can see what's going on? So he can see what he about to get himself into.
We bring it to the table.
Right. Have y'all ever asked for a resume? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know.
No.
Anybody ever asked for a resume? Because that ain't what we do. We meet people where they are, and we start assessing them and judging them. Would I like to see this person again? Would I like this person to smile on my face? What do I think I want to have a drink with this person? All little things, and it don't never. I'm sure that most of us don't. The first thought ain't, I wonder if this man got a job. I wonder if this woman got a job. That ain't the first thing we think. I wonder if they make enough money. Because I only want to date somebody who makes $60,000 a year. So who starts off with that question? Hey, Arneè, I think you're cute as shit, but before I ask for your phone number, can you tell me if you make at least $60,000 a year? And y'all ever heard any shit like that? Well, anybody? It's like, who does this? And that's go ahead.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. You remember the young lady that we had on the show way back that had the list of 60 priorities that she was looking for in a man?
Oh yeah, your friend.
She would ask that question. She wasn't my friend. You introduced me to her at the club. So I mean at Barley's. Don't try that.
She had 60 things that a man must meet to date her. 60.
That was and those were priorities. Those were not her preferences. Those were and hold up. Here's the kicker. She said she took the list down from 120. Yeah, she's still single today.
Oh yeah, we know.
She's gonna be single, right? She's gonna be single for a minute. Yeah.
She at Walmart buying kitty litter right now.
I mean that's crazy.
I would love to see her write a list on herself.
We tried that. Yeah, that didn't work out.
I'm sure.
So, D, can I put this other thing up real quick? I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So y'all were talking about this is actually something that I wrote years ago, and it's about that whole ride or die thing. And I say that there is a big difference between what the ride or die that a man wants and the ride or die that a boy wants. Because like we were talking about earlier, and I want to take the thing off so people can see it. That's one of the differences. And like I said, Mark hit it on the head completely. Men don't mind being questioned. People who are going to be honest with you don't mind being questioned. People have problems with being questioned when they know they're in the process of trying to deceive somebody. That's men or women. That doesn't matter who we are. When you don't like to be questioned, you already telling me, it's like, oh, hold up. Yeah. You don't want me to know stuff. But like I said, the ride or die, the difference between the ride or die chicks that we want. A boy wants a girl who will stroke his ego, who will follow him blindly, who will who's with him because of his status, who says you get rich or die trying, YOLO, who is being one of his baby mamas, who is okay with him not caring for his kids because of his baby mama drama, or who will take the bullet in a charge for him. Now, men want something completely different than that. But see, that's that ride or die mentality. That's that YOLO mentality that a lot of folks have. And when we look at what we say here from a man's perspective, I want someone who is always going to tell me the truth, even when it hurts. Just like D said, when I'm doing some dumb stuff, she need to be able to look at me and be like, baby, no, we not doing that. You know, who will question him when needed. You know, who he feels is part of the reason he moves up. Who says, I will work with you to build our future. Miss Harrison's comments. You know, who wants to be a wife before she's a baby mama. That one I kind of came around on because I've actually met some older, and when I say that, I mean with them. That's their goal, not the fact that she already had kids. I'm a product of a woman who had me before, and then my dad got divorced. You know, who understands his children are his first responsibility and is okay with what he does for them. Why do I say that? Because I have met women who have a problem with the man taking care of his children when they start dealing with her because her and the mama don't get along. And then who he feels is worth laying down his life for. I guarantee you, Darren will step in front of, and he talks about protecting the sisters all the time, but there is absolutely no question that he will step in front of a bullet, train, truck, or whatever for Trina. He is going to take the brunt of anything that comes up to avoid her having to deal with it, even if that means him going. That's what a man wants.
Except midgets. I'm not stepping in front of no midgets.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. You got
this midget thing. If the midgets attack, she on her own. She on her own. I gotta go.
But you know, these are the things, man. That's what we have to look at differently. We have to start looking at the process and understanding. My page is an open page. I want to tell y'all, please go to my page. And it's fun. It's so funny listening to some of the things that you guys were talking about today and several posts that I shared. And the irony of it, D, is they were comments that I shared from shows that we did years ago when we first started kicking this thing off with you. And I kind of followed up with some of the different things, but it talks about the posts talk about the same stuff that y'all talk about, man. We've got to get better at our relationships and just being together and helping each other and understanding that this is about us growing together. No matter what age you are, no matter what stage of life we are, when we come together, we're still growing to something new. We're not growing to individuals, we're growing together. And especially at this point in life, when you get past 35, 40 years old, look, we all got baggage. We all got issues. We got all that. So let's work together to say, okay, if we're not working for a common goal, let's do what we're going to do. If we consenting adults, if D want to be his Sith and y'all just want to have sex, y'all go ahead and do that. Ain't nothing wrong with two grown-ass people doing that as long as they tell them the truth about what they're doing from the beginning. Don't tell me that you're trying to be with me and you out here kicking it with Mo and Mark without me knowing.
Right.
But if as long as we together and we know and you telling me, you give me the choice, you give me the ability to make a reasonable choice at that moment in my life. And if I say, you know what, this young lady I'm gonna go ahead and ride this out. So if she want to date and do this thing with these other guys, I understand at this point now that I have to do something to separate myself from the rest of the pack to pull her away from that. And I'm down for that process. Or you can be like, okay, well, it is what it is. You go ahead and get with them. When you want to have some fun, hang out with me, you call me or we do whatever. If I'm in that mood, we're going to do that. But that's the biggest thing, I think, especially in Atlanta. That's the thing that I've hated the most about Atlanta is that people just don't want to be honest with what they want. You know,
that's these foreigners coming in claiming they from Atlanta.
Oh, no, dog. I done met a couple of these Atlanta. Well, let me stop. I'm going to let that go.
They ain't from Atlanta. That's what they claiming.
Mark, I just want you to know, man, you can have her. She's yours, brother.
That's why I'm still single, brother. That's why I'm still single.
I think the big thing with the Atlanta thing is just the second question that we were discussing today, which is always thinking that something better is around the corner. So I think that people get caught up in not trying to commit, men and women, because they feel like, you know, they're gonna be at 112 Saturday night and Diddy gonna walk past and you gonna get chose.
Did she say 112?
Oh yeah, she been around for a minute.
You've been around for a few minutes. She said 112.
And you know what's funny, Arneè? Because I had this conversation with some guys and they was telling me, man, these women got to realize the ratio is this. I said, dude, have you looked at the census? The ratio is one. The ratio for Atlanta is this 1.1 man for every woman. 1.1. I don't know where y'all got this 20 to 1. Well, the club ain't never been 20 to 1.
It ain't never been that, because
I don't care.
I've never heard any of those stats.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, all these people, all these gay men. I said, you know, it's a bunch of gay. Atlanta was second for the longest. We overtook Frisco. Atlanta's capital for gays, men and women. So the ratio is still the same. It's 1.1 to 1. But dudes are so into wanting you to think that you got to accept something. And to me, it's funny, and I ain't picking you two out, but there are a lot of women who doing their thing. They don't want to be in a serious relationship, and if you give them that option, they will take it. Ain't no need to lie to them, fellas.
Right.
I'm living proof that if you let them know up front, and I always say, you know what? When a woman knows she can't bust your windows out, rules of the game, they bust your windows out because you lied and told her she was only one. If you'd have told her she was one of, she got a choice. She can say yay or nay. But some of these women working like us, they ain't got but 2-3 days a month to do something. They know that they don't have the time to be in a committed relationship. Give them that option. But our egos are so fragile. And, you know, and I pick on Mark because somebody made this post and it agitated me. Why women can't pay for the first date. And it's like, you're from the South. When she pays for the first date, my mentality, she run a relationship. You are already submitting to her because you're letting her lead. You can't be a leader if you're being led. I have been around women. When I open, as a matter of fact, y'all were all at the event. When what's her name got into that little confrontation with the loud fat girls. I had never, but I didn't know Zenobia by I didn't know Zenobia, but I saw what was going on. When I reached and put my hand in Zenobia's hand, she grabbed my hand. When I pulled her back, she came. When I told her just come back and let it go, we wasn't dating. I ain't never seen her. She submitted because she saw somebody was trying to protect her. It ain't about sex. It ain't about nothing else.
And it ain't about who pay either.
Right.
Money does not decide leadership. So I want.
But what y'all want? Y'all all want to feel safe. When I had told her to sit at the table, she didn't say nothing. She just sat down. I ain't her man. I said, y'all don't understand. When women feel that presence, guess what they do? They naturally submit. You ain't got to ask for it. They naturally do it because they feel the presence of a man. She didn't know me. We got to be friends after that. But I'm like, yo, whatever is going on, you too classy for that. Come on, just sit. I ain't say nothing about us fighting. I ain't want Arneè to run off stage because, you know, Arneè and Tmarie like they might be about that life. I'm with it. But this ain't what we there for.
I got it.
I done changed a whole lot.
But I will snap back if
but it's in your back pocket. But this is what women want. They want to see this. When they see it, they can follow it easy. When you got to keep asking for it, it's because you ain't exhibiting it. When you say, hey, Arneè, let's go out to eat. You know, can you pay first? And the dude, it wasn't you, Mark. That's why I picked on you. But the guy was dead serious. It ain't fair that men should always have to pay for the first date. Dude, don't go on a date then. Or get you a skirt. You in Atlanta. You can get a man to pay for your first date. If you just really want somebody to pay for your date that bad, put on a skirt or put on some lipstick, and I guarantee somebody else will pay for the date.
And to talk about the paying for the day thing, it's not necessarily quote unquote about the leadership, but it's about being chivalrous. You know what I'm saying? It's about extending yourself to a person that you want to spend some time with. This young lady has probably gotten herself together, got dressed, got her hair done, and everything to be presentable for you to be in your presence. Be chivalrous. Show that side of you and offer and knowingly pay for the date. Like men don't want to extend chivalry.
I'm not having that conversation. I don't even think we should dedicate any more minutes to that.
I do have one thing to clarify. And a lot of times I may post stuff. Honestly, let me say this. Yes, I may post conversation. Right, I may post I may post something that kind of jerk you a little bit, but that's not my intentions. Is to get you to think, right? Sometimes what we do when we have these platforms, a lot of time, let's be honest, we like to kind of dress it up to try to make sure we don't hurt anyone's feelings. But here's the thing: a lot of times, those type of conversations or those questions, a lot of times, it's just like working out. In order for you to get a nice body, it's gonna hurt, right? You're gonna go through the soreness, you're gonna go through the pain. But guess what? It's for a good purpose. Now, for me, I brought that particular post up because, yes, I'm probably in my lifetime, I'm probably down $1 million. Okay, I'm talking about a date. I'm being facetious, but it's not that much. But here's my point. I guess I wanted to see. I like to see not only if, but why also, because I think sometimes people can't really express on how they feel about certain things. Yes, as a man, you should pay for the first date. Now, if a woman offers to pay for the first date, honestly, for me, Mark, you're doing something different in my mind, because you're even offering to pay. And sometimes hey, I got it. But even if you offer, that goes a long way because you're doing something different from what a lot of women are doing, right? So for me, it makes it be like, okay, well, she's really here for me, right? Because there are a group of women that get dressed up, put on a lipstick, right? Put the lipstick on just to go eat because they're hungry. Let's be honest.
I would like to dispel that myth.
Let me just.
But why? But Mark, hold on, Arneè. But why are they doing that? Because a guy kept saying, "Go out with me." See, these girls who go on this date, they have informed the dude that there is no interest, and he keeps saying, "Let me take you out." He gonna say, "Let me take you out" one time when she's hungry. So she agreed to what she said. He just hoping it's gonna turn into more. Because if you vet them, you know that she ain't interested in you. Most women ain't finna go through that time and energy just to get some food. Now, if you're gonna pay 2 bills, they might put up with some shit.
It happens. I've had people that come on my show, and I ask, and there have been several different men that has felt, right, if they're right or wrong or indifferent, that they have been, for whatever reason. I'm not saying that's my experience, but from what I've gathered by interviewing different people, because my platform is based upon just anyone that can come on or whatever, I've heard those stories. So that's why I want to just ask and see.
But we got to hear the whole story. Go ahead, Arneè.
I don't know where this is coming from, and I'm going to take the liberty to speak for 99.99% of women. We are not hungry. And I'm going to tell you, I am not so hungry that I'm going to tolerate you through a meal so that I can eat. I promise you that my time is more precious. My patience is way shorter. We are not hungry. We are not.
But there are some women who actually do that. And sometimes because of our own environment and type of women that we're around, we don't see that other type of woman. But that other type of woman does exist.
The thing is, you are choosing that kind of woman.
Oh yeah,
so,
I'm just saying she exists.
Is that on you or is that on her?
Yeah, she does exist. There's a group of women who exist just to go eat, is what I'm saying. So when men see that, they're like, "But you're right. You chose them."
Are complaining about that.
Right.
Are bottom feeding you? And I don't want to say it that way. I apologize for being offensive, but
go ahead. But here's my thing. We don't know when we're talking about first dates, right? So the first date, remember, we deal with people who are there showing their representatives. So to get to the table, you may sound right, okay? And remember, we're men, right? So with us being men, sometimes I am guilty. And we looking at the picture and we see all these other things. Sometimes we miss certain things, but what if we don't? What if we ask the right questions? But then we get to the table, then then it may. So I don't think it's about a matter of choice, because we don't know what the choice is until we get to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because we get caught up in the picture and we don't listen.
Absolutely.
See, when we like that picture so much, it's the same thing that women would do. And the women post it. A man ain't got to lie to a woman. When a woman likes a man, she will lie to herself. When a dude want to go out with a woman, he will lie to herself about, oh, she just playing hard to get. She keep telling you, no, play. Oh, no, she just playing hard to get. Because we tell ourselves this so we can build this up. And again, you beat them down. It's like, shit, I'm hungry. Because, oh, that's it. Yeah, that's all I said I was going to do. You said, come eat. I said, I'm going to come eat. And we do that. When a woman can meet a man who ain't shit, you can't tell her nothing that she has said that that's who she wants. Because she will lie for him. And we do the same. That's why when the guy said, dude, let me call the woman and ask her. Or get you a woman friend and ask her how it goes when she turn dudes down, how persistent they can be. They don't want to know nothing, because if you talk to her conversation, I'm gonna use both Arneè and Tmarie. If y'all were to give a guy your phone number and y'all having a conversation, if you ain't interested, are you gonna talk to him more than 5 or 6 minutes? No. You're not going to have a 30 to 40 minute conversation and decide, hey, we need to go somewhere and have a sit down. And we don't want to vet anymore. Hey, if we can't talk no more than 3 or 4 minutes, then you know your company is unwanted, because a good conversation that come out of nowhere, you laughing on the phone, and you are, oh, you know what? This chick like me. She get my jokes. She get my humor. I get hers. Let's go do this. And you don't have to do that expensive, fellas. But it's about time and energy. Right. But when we cut that chase out, damn, did you see that low cut? Like, woo, I got to get that. Yo, let me take you out to eat. Let me take you out to eat, mommy. Let me take. And that's all they keep saying it. But they ain't never getting to know her. They ain't ask her if she interested in men or if she interested in them. She giving them all the clothes. She like, nah, I ain't got time. Well, you don't know. I got this. But she done told you, no. We don't take nowhere, because we will lie to ourselves. The same way women will lie to themselves about a shitty dude. Oh man, the dude did this. He got me pregnant. You mean the dude with 4 baby mamas? He got me pregnant and left. Yeah. We don't want to put the work in, because work is like change. It's hard to do. We want to act like we believe everybody's telling the truth when we know most people ain't telling the truth. Mark, you said it. Everybody know that people got a representative. Tmarie got one. Arneè got one. But guess what? That rep ain't gonna work over time. You got to catch them. And I say that
all the time. It's only so long a person can pretend, because it's not who they naturally are. And you have to allow that to play out. Like, don't be in such a rush to jump into something that you don't allow the things to play out. You know what I'm saying? And then you will get to see who this person really, really is. We got to slow, you know what? We've got to slow things down.
Yes.
You got to quit being in such a rush to get somebody by your side, to get in somebody's face, to get in somebody's energy. You need to slow down and be very intentional about whatever that thing is, so that you're not wasting time, energy, or money.
Right. I want to add a comment that just came through that says, we aren't living in a traditional time. We are not seeing many traditionally acting women. It seems like we are picking and choosing what traditions we keep. I would like to say, if you are a traditional person, there are traditional women. That will never not be a thing.
Never.
That will never not be a thing. I don't think anybody has to ever bend on what it is they're seeking. Now, what you have to work to see may be different. You know, it's kind of like me. I don't listen to the radio. You know, I might listen if I'm up in the morning and in the car, I might listen to talk radio or whatever. But typically in the car, I don't listen to the radio. I make playlists. Every now and then I hear satellite radio and I'll pick up an artist and I'm like, oh, which on my Spotify will lead me to other artists that are like the artists that I like. But as far as like listening 10 times to Ski Week,
right,
you know, it's like, that's not my rotation. Right. So you got to go off the beaten path a little bit to find what it is you're seeking. But traditional absolutely does exist. Good women do exist. People who are not telling lies. Like, it bothers me that people are like, most people are lying. And I'm like, are they? At 40 plus years old? Is that a true stat? I hope not.
I think seeing so much stuff on. I think social media has played a really big part in how we perceive things,
right?
And I think it also has given us a false definition of what dating looks like, what women look like, what men look like, because it's what we have the opportunity to see all the time. You have to understand.
You don't have to work to see.
Right. Yeah, your environment. The reason why we can say the different type of women exist based on what some men say is because the type of women and men that are in our environment. Mm-hmm. So I have the luxury to be able to say that they are good men. You have the luxury to be able to say that because we have good men in our environment, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody says that that doesn't exist, the unfortunate part is they've never seen it, mm-hmm. right? And then what they're getting, the idea of what men look like, they're getting from social media, mm-hmm. and they're getting from TV and all these other things. Right. And so your environment plays just as big of a part in what you believe and what you see.
Absolutely.
Okay. I had a question. I got to go ahead, Arneè. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to address Antithetius. I'm only using your word back to you. So whatever you define as traditional. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Okay. So I have a question. Well, comment and question. The first comment is, it seems to me one of the things that we have to realize, like life is. I use a description of life as being like colors. There's so many different colors. There's so many different perspectives. There's so many different views or whatever. So we have to, when Arneè says 99.9%, right, probably in your sector, right? But we have to acknowledge, there are other colors that are floating around that may not be good. You know what I mean? So we have to also keep in mind that our journeys through life is going to be so different. So we may gravitate toward certain things that maybe you guys have. So that's one. But two, here's the thing. I've heard and I've heard you guys say this, and I'm just curious, especially the ladies. You say you've met great guys, and I'm assuming both of you women are single, correct? Okay, so what happened to the, like, what's the,
do you want to start? I love this question. Let me tell you why.
I'm trying to figure out, like, if there's great. Let me finish. So if there's great guys, I'm just asking, right? I'm not, okay? Come into peace. All right. So if there's great guys, where's the connection in the relationship part of the great guys you run into?
Arneè, you want to start, or you want me to say? Because I really
clarify the question. Are you asking why we're not married if we know great guys? Is that
well, if you're single, meaning
now.
No, I'm not meaning that.
No, I'm just asking.
If you're single, meaning that you're not in a relationship. So why are we not in a relationship with these guys?
With the good guys?
Yeah, the guys you guys talk about, yeah.
Oh, I don't think I mentioned good guys during this talk. However, who likes good guys? You gotta be in a position, and I will speak for myself on this. Right. I am just now at 45, and I'm gonna be real honest, like, this is transparency. Just now getting to the point where I am aligned with what I need and have defined what I want and what I need, and very clear about that and what I will accept. I had some work to do on Arneè.
Got you.
So Arneè wasted a lot of time with the people who weren't so good, and I passed over lots of wonderful men who I did not damage or hurt, I will say. Many of them are still around. Some of them married and some of them not. None of them will speak ill, and I will not speak ill. But I will say that, that does not discount that they were great. And I will say that I messed up some timing on some that I do regret. But, in all honesty, part of that was me. I will take responsibility and accountability for that.
And I'm going to say something.
I got something to say, but I'm going to wait till you get through.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I ain't religious, but the pastor said something to me one time, and I had to hold on to it. Because he was a pastor who had been married, got divorced, and got remarried. That's frowned upon. He said, but sometimes you meet Mr. Right, and sometimes you meet Mr. Right now. And you got to accept that. But just because, and in hindsight, they may be Mr. Right. But remember, where you were then, they weren't. And where you are now, they still may not be. Doesn't take away the fact that they're good people. Y'all just weren't good for each other.
That's
because
right.
We can be great at the same time.
That's exactly right.
But if we got things that don't click, Tmarie's greatness and my greatness, they clash.
They don't go right.
And we can be cool. And I think people keep wanting to say, well, why y'all ain't together? Well, we look cute together, but we don't.
We're not
mesh.
compatible.
We
The
don't
things that
mesh.
we want, what we're at in life, doesn't disqualify me from being a good woman. Doesn't
Right.
disqualify him from being a good man. We were not at the same place at the same time. We weren't looking for the same thing at the same time. Still doesn't mean I don't think that he's a good guy and he doesn't come through for me and I don't come through for him and we're not friends.
Right.
So me knowing good men doesn't mean, just because I'm single doesn't mean I wasn't privy to being with a good man, and doesn't mean I don't deserve or don't know how to pick out a good man. And I think that's a real unfair assessment to say, but it's because I know a good man or you know good women and we're not with them. That's not a fair assessment, because we still may have had some work to do, just like Arneè said. Maybe we did, but timing and opportunity are two entirely different things. And we have to understand.
We got to put mentality into it, because if you're not in the right mindset, I dated some great women. I dismissed myself because I didn't want to harm them, but I wasn't where they were. But it didn't take away from none of their greatness, and I could have been selfish, because like women will do. They were like, I can be patient. No, you can't be patient, because even though you're great, you're not my great. You're great for somebody else. Go find that person and be super great. Because with me, you're gonna come down, because I'm not gonna rise up, because you're not the one you're not my Mrs. Right. You're my Miss Right now, and I can accept it, and I need you to accept it.
Right. The reason why I asked that question, honestly, here's the thing. All this is about learning. Remember, we're doing this to help people understand what's going on, right? So I pose that question to the people that's probably out there, because Tmarie, I know you, right? I kind of knew where you were going, but sometimes we have to pose these questions to help jog the memory, just in case you have someone sitting behind the computer wave, they ain't right? So I pose that question, and I want to see two things: how you would answer, right? How you respond to such a question, and also give who's ever viewing this can identify some things within their own selves. So sometimes we blame things outside of ourselves. That's the only reason why I do it.
You like to stir the pot, but that was good.
Before I get in trouble, because it's 7:55 and I don't want to get no nasty ground. We got to give our parting shots and our information and how people can find us. So we're gonna do this the Southern gentleman way, because that's what I am. And Arneè, since we're gonna go by alphabetical order, because my teachers loved it. I used to hate this shit. Arneè, give us a parting shot and how to find you, how to buy a house.
Well, first, I want to thank you, Darren, for inviting me on again. I love you guys. I'm so excited to meet back up with Tmarie and Mark. Thank you so much for having me, first and foremost. I am Arneè Harrison. I'm a real estate broker, 21 years in real estate this year. I am the Owner Suite on all platforms. So I'm at the Owner Suite on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. And that is where you can find me, or Google me. If you spell my name right, I'm not hard to find at all.
Tmarie.
I'm Tmarie. I am your dating coach. I love teaching people how to date. I've really gotten good with that. I've got some references, so just so in case y'all need to know. But I'm also an author, owner of Tasty Wines, which I have 3 brands: a Moscato, a Merlot, and a Pinot. And you can find that at tastywines.com. There you have it. Yeah, right. Also, I will be back on air middays. I'm a media personality, for people who don't know, starting October 23rd, Monday through Friday. I'm excited about that. So you'll be seeing the billboards and all that other stuff. And I'm an author of a brand new book called Not Just a Piece of Paper. That's a follow-up to my first book, No More Boyfriends.
Nice.
And she got a group called No More Boyfriends. So let me just put on the spot before she walk out of here. So now, when you become rich and famous, are you just gonna still come hang out with us low life poor people on the show? You know what I'm saying? You gonna still come hang out with the people.
What is that? What is that?
I'm just saying, you gonna still come to Random Thoughts and just hang out.
I'm always available. Come on now. I'm always available.
Oh, Fran, I said you his girlfriend, so I'm getting kind of jealous. You know what I'm saying? I'm possessive on my show. Fran called you out. Mark, what you got for me?
All right. So once again, my name is Mark with Date Night Online TV on Instagram. I also we forgot to mention that me and Tmarie also have a couple of shows on my platform too. One is called a Date Night Reset. We basically bring people on to kind of go over there, whatever questions they may have as far as dating. It may be her or another influencer. We just the platform is basically for the people. It's a little different, and what I do is I bring just the every average person to come on, averaging, not being whatever, those things. But and bring them on. They want to vent, have conversation. Anybody can come on. Hit me up at Date Night Online TV on Instagram. We'll get you on. You can vent, talk about it. Also, I have a show, 2 other shows I'm doing. Date Night Meals. I'll be cooking. We'll have conversations and everything. I want to invite Tmarie, invite the whole panel over. We're gonna cook. We're gonna talk. Then also I'm gonna do date night investigates, which I'm gonna also go over a couple of dating stories or whatnot. We're gonna go through the actual court papers. We're gonna go through footage. We're gonna do it all. So that's what I got going on is Date Night Online TV.
So your cop friend don't get to be on none of this investigation stuff. Oh man, I'm finna see
Oh,
you.
no. I got you, man. We'll talk.
Mo, I want to say I got your book today, but I was running, so I ain't got it with me. But go ahead, Mo. Tell them who you are and how you be trying to keep me straight when you ain't jumping into this with me.
It's all good, man. Listen, I just show up, man, because I'm here to support DVP and what he's doing, because I believe in it. We need the village, like we had in Africa. We need the village, and we need the learning, because personally speaking, if I had these conversations and this information when I was going through life and dating, it would have made a hell of a difference. So I'm here to give that information. I'll help give that information out, and hopefully it will influence and help someone.
Awesome.
And I appreciate all y'all. We're gonna do a round 2 before Tmarie get too busy. Y'all know him. I'm DVP. We do random thoughts. This is what we love to have uncomfortable conversations. On a good day, we funny, we educate you, and we motivate you. But it's all about having uncomfortable conversations so we can get to the real stuff. It's cute to keep talking around stuff and keep putting the layers of dirt on shit. And that's how we keep messing up. At some point, we got to get there and get to the good stuff. I want to see these 20-year-olds stop having babies. But we got to get the women to start talking to them. We got to get the men to start telling these guys, hey, if you ain't ready for this 18-year layaway plan, wrap it up. You'll be all right, player. I'm going to do a show with these people again. I'm going to tell y'all now, we're going to talk about when is a man really prepared to be a daddy. I'm going to tell y'all, fellas, it ain't in your 20s. It ain't in your 20s. You need to be a little bit old. I'm just telling you, and these are facts. But I'm going to have them again, like I said, because I want people who can be honest, who don't mind admitting their mistakes and telling you about their mistakes. You don't have to make these same mistakes again. It goes with the oven. All of us touched that oven after somebody told us it was hot. Somebody told us, and I guarantee all of us still touched it because we had to find out for ourselves. You can make mistakes, but as Mo said, you ain't gonna make them from lack of knowledge. We will tell you. We will give you some of the best advice so that at least you got different pools of resources to pull from. Oh, she said this. Let me be a little bit more careful. He said that. Let me be a little bit more careful. But I want to thank y'all. Out of all the stuff y'all could do on Wednesday, y'all chose to spend 2 hours with me instead of going to Bible study, even though Mark needed bad. Mark needed bad. But we're going to do this again. I'm going to reach out. If y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all know how to inbox me. If y'all want to talk about something, inbox me. I will find some people who can help me so we can address these subjects. All right? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I truly do appreciate y'all. Sorry that I was running late. If y'all know Phyllis, reach out to Phyllis. Her stepfather passed, I think, so she couldn't make the show. So that being said, y'all know what it is. I wasn't drinking today because I was working. But until next week, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. We out.